Okay, so welcome to today's lesson. Today is week 2, lesson 5. The topic of today's lesson is Illustrator Basics. We're going to see how to use the pen tool, how to add some shapes, the Pathfinder, and practice some logo sketching on Illustrator. Remember, this was a graphic design training and not Photoshop training. So, we were to teach you the tools which will help you to become a professional graphic designer. And those tools included Photoshop and Illustrator. So now coming to Illustrator doesn't mean that we have seen everything which has to be seen in Photoshop, right? But we saw the basics, the basics. On your own, you can as well explore even more, even before, because we're going to get back to it. When we get back to Photoshop. But on your own, you can also explore even more. There's more to Photoshop than what we saw during the program. What we saw was an introduction, and we're going to introduce Illustrator as well. And then after this, we're going to be moving with the two together. So it's going to be about how you can use both of them, not just a single tool, right? Don't be limited as a designer. So on today's lesson, we'll be treating the introduction to Illustrator, understanding vector graphics, using the pen tool, custom shapes, creating with basic shapes, creating basic shapes, not with basic shapes, combining shapes with Pathfinder, sketching and planning logo ideas, and there will be a practice exercise at the end. The objective of this lesson is simply to be able to navigate Illustrator interface and understand vector workflow, use the pen tool to draw custom paths and curves, create and combine shapes with Pathfinder tools, develop initial logo sketches digitally, understand the foundations of scalable logo design. So we're going to start Illustrator versus Photoshop, right? Most of us know Photoshop, but not all of us are familiar with Illustrator. Photoshop is like the main guy, and Illustrator usually works in the background. So what is Illustrator and what is it used for? What's the difference between Illustrator and Photoshop? So Illustrator is a vector graphic tool, right? We said Photoshop before was a raster tool. Illustrator is a vector tool. And what is Illustrator used for? Illustrator is best used for logos, designing logo, icons, typography, and printable graphics. Whereas Photoshop is mostly used for photo editing, social media graphics, photo manipulations, like that. In other words, you cannot edit photos on Illustrator. You can only edit photos on Photoshop. However, I think which you can do together, you can do social media graphics on both of them. Both Illustrator and Photoshop can do social media graphics. However, vector graphics are specific only to Illustrator. You cannot perform vector graphics on Photoshop. And what are vector graphics? We saw what vector graphics are and what raster graphics are. We said before that vector graphics are made up of mathematical parts, right? While raster graphics are made up of small boxes of color. So we already saw that. We already saw that. Okay, so let's proceed. In terms of scalability, Illustrator has infinite scalability. That's why it's actually very good for logos, for icons, for it to be scalable without it losing its quality. Whereas Photoshop scalability is limited. The more you scale a raster graphic, the more you are decreasing its resolution, right? So at a certain point, it might become blurry. And the tools which are being used, the main tools in Illustrator are the pen tool, the Pathfinder, the shape. These are some essential tools in Illustrator, right? While some essential tools of Photoshop, you have the brushes, the filters, and all that. So we use Illustrator for clean and scalable or printable brand assets, right? Like the logo of the company, which is like the main image of the company. Most logos are designed with Illustrator. Although you can use Photoshop for logo design as well, however, it is best when you design it with Illustrator. So understanding vector graphics, what are vector graphics? Vector graphics use paths defined by mathematical equations, as I said before. It can be resized without loss of quality and is ideal for logos, icons, infographics, and prints. So you can save this vector graphics as Adobe Illustrator file, as SVG, as EPS for vector use. SVG means scalable vector graphics. AI means Adobe Illustrator. And EPS means, what does EPS mean again? Okay, we'll come back to that. So, getting started with Illustrator interface. So, when you open Illustrator, it's going to look something like this with your canvas in the middle. In the middle. This canvas here is also called the artboard in Illustrator. So canvas artboard, the same thing. So on the left side of your screen, which is this side of your screen, you have your tools, and here on the right side you have your panel. The layer panel will also be on this right side, depending on the settings which you're using, on the view which you're using. So the layers, so Illustrator also has layers, just like Photoshop, and it functions almost like Photoshop. But we'll see the key difference when we get into Illustrator. So you can use the Control or Command plus to zoom in or to zoom out of your screen in Illustrator, just like in Photoshop. So for some things, they are very similar and they differ just in some key details. Some key details. So now, mastering the pen tool. Mastering the pen tool. The Photoshop use the shortcut to use the pen tool is the letter P on your keyboard. Letter P on your keyboard. So how you use the pen tool is you click to create straight lines and you click and you drag to create curves. You use anchor points and handles to adjust paths, and let's get into the practice just now so you understand what I'm saying. So if you have Illustrator downloaded already in your computer and installed, you can open it and this is the first screen that will appear. And you will create a file in the exact same way you do in Photoshop. Go to new file here, and in here you can select the width and the height. You already set it in Photoshop. Select the measurement unit here, put the file name here, or you can as well choose a template, right? Let's say this is a mobile template, for example. So imagine if you're doing something, for example, you're designing for the iPhone X screen, you have to choose the iPhone X screen here, and the width and the height has already been put in for you. So you're doing something, for example, for A4, for A3, right, or for B4. Some default sizes have already been made for you, which you can simply choose already and do whatever you want to do. Same thing for art and illustrations. So there are some templates which are already made up for you. However, we're not going to be using any of these templates. We're going to use the standard size which we spoke of before. We select the pixels. We're going to set our width to 1080 and our height to 1080. We set our file name, uh, my first Illustrator file, my first Illustrator file, and you can leave everything else as it is and select the create button. And once you do that, this screen is going to appear. Here are your tools, here are your panels, this is your artboard here. It's white space, it is the menu here. So let me tell you, it might not look exactly like this as mine looks. So you can adjust how your screen looks by coming here to the top right corner of your screen. You will see this small icon, a switch workplace. You can click on it and select printing and proofing for it to look like exactly like mine. Printing and proofing, and it's going to look somewhat like this. These are the swatches here. It looks somewhat like this. And on this panel here, you can add more options by coming to the window, and you just want to add this paragraph here. This paragraph, just come to window, just like on Photoshop. You come to window, scroll down and look for paragraph. Where's paragraph? Paragraph or transparent type. Okay, this is type here, and in type, this is where you find it. Paragraph, paragraph styles, character. This is it. Simply press on paragraph, and it's going to appear here. So on this panel as well, you can adjust it by removing options from this panel or carrying it and putting it back in the panel like this. It's adjustable. But so, the pen tool. If you come to your tools panel here, just on Photoshop, you see some tools here. This is the first tool, which is the selection tool, which permits you to select and move objects. Here, the direct selection tool, which permits you to select a particular object in a set of objects. We're going to see that very soon. And the third tool here is what you're looking for, the pen tool. And the pen tool helps you create paths with precision using anchor points and handles. As you can see, the jigging display. So let's try it now. So I'm going to click on it once and come to my screen. See my icon has changed. My icon has changed. So how do I use for the pen tool? I simply click once. You see, when I click once, an anchor point is being created. And this anchor point follows my mouse wherever I go. So I click another point on my screen like this. Another anchor point has been created. And this anchor point here has linked these 2 points. So I can go again at another anchor, I can move again and create another anchor point, for example, here. Move again and create another one here, and so on. Right. So this one can enable you to create custom shapes like this. And there you have it, the custom shape has been created. It looks like nothing. It is my shape. So now the second way, now, so what if you want to create curves, right? What if you want to create some curves using your pen tool? How you do that is you click on your pen tool here, click on your screen once, and once the anchor point appears, when you are clicking on the second anchor point, this is where the magic happens. When you click once, you maintain your hand on the left click as you click and drag it. You see what happens? If I drag it down, it forms an upward curve. If I drag it below, it forms a downward curve like that. You see, and all this is because I am maintaining my finger on the left click button all this while. So when I feel like I'm getting the right curve, I can release my finger from the left click, and there you have it, my curve has been formed. So I can proceed like that. So what if the next line I want to do isn't a curve now? I want it to be a straight line. I can simply bring back, let me zoom in. I can simply bring back my pen tool to this anchor point, the last anchor point which was here. And when I click on it, see what happens now. You are turned back into a straight line like this. So now I can put another anchor point in a straight line like this. And what if I want another curve? And if I want another curve, I'll simply go to where I want my anchor point to be. I'll click on it and drag. Is going to, I can zoom out as well and drag, and there you have it. Another curve is being created. And the reason why you have this curve is because my hand is still maintained on the left click button. Once I release my hand from the left click button, the curve has been created like that. So I can simply continue again like this by clicking again. Another anchor point, another curve will be created like this. So create another curve by clicking and dragging. If I want to cancel the curve, I can come back to my anchor point and click on it. The curve has been cancelled. Yes, turns to a straight line. I can move it to any point where I want. Click and click. Another custom shape has been formed. So you can use your pen tool in order to create custom shapes and also to trace or trace it. Let me show you how you can trace something using the pen tool. Let's look for an image which we can trace. Okay, let's choose this Facebook icon here. I'm going to trace this Facebook icon. So I added the image exactly as I did in Photoshop, simply by dragging and dropping here on my canvas. So there you have it. Oh, I haven't shown you the layers yet. So if you are using the same setting as me, which is the person I'm posting, you should see your layers panel either here or somewhere here. So here, this is the icon for the layers. You see this icon, it means layer. Either you see this icon, or you see it completely spelled out for you. So here's my icon for the layers. I click on it, this is my layer. Now the difference here from Photoshop is what? In Photoshop, everything you do, every element you add is added into a new layer. However, here it is kind of different. It's kind of different. In what way? In a way that a single layer in Illustrator can be modularized, means that a single layer can be divided into sub-layers. So once we have, for example, this layer 1, I can add sub-layers into this layer 1. So as I added this images icon here, this icon here was added into layer 1 as a sub-layer of layer 1. So if I click on this drop down here, I will see everything which is all the sub-layers of layer 1. So you have this image here which added icon of our two parts which we had created before, this one and this one here. So, and another thing, every every stroke of the pen tool creates a new layer. For example, let's use the pen tool here. Yes, I click, see, a new layer has been created. Let's say I stop here. Take the pen tool again and I create another one. A new layer has been created as a sub layer of the layer 1. So what if I want to create a brand new layer? How do I do it? I will simply come down here Click on the plus. And click on the plus, a new layer has been created. You can also transfer the sub layers into another layer. So you can transfer this sub layer here, or this sub layer here, to this new layer by simply clicking on it and dragging it up and dropping it there. So now this my icon here has been transferred from layer 1 to layer 2. So the key difference between Photoshop and Illustrator when it comes to layers is Illustrator has sub layers while Photoshop does not have sub layers. In Photoshop, everything is added as a new layer, while in Illustrator, things can be added as sub layers. Sub layers. So for the main layers now, you are the one who has to manually create them by coming in here and clicking on this create new layer to create a new layer. And when you select this layer, anything which is done, as long as this layer is selected, will be added only to this layer. So if I do something now, for example, on my screen, I use the brush tool, for example, like this. You see, it has been done on on layer 3 because layer 3 was the one which was selected. If I choose now layer 2 and do the same thing, see what happens. You can add it to layer 2. So if that's clear, if it's clear, you can send a reaction if that is clear concerning the layers. Send a reaction if that's clear. Yes. I am not getting you. Is your mic on?
What I'm saying is, I want you to like come back on how do we make it like yours.
I'm not really getting you. Can you type it in the chat?
How do we make our interface to be like yours?
Okay, I said for your interface to be like mine, you can simply come up here to the top right corner of your screen. You see this icon here, switch
Yes.
workspace. Click on it, and you can simply select this option here, printing and proofing, and it begins to appear somewhat like this, right? And I also said this: if you go on the Windows panel, you see more options which do not always appear here. So if you click on an option here, for example, the properties, is going to open in this panel here. So on the Windows section is where you have all the options listed. So on the Windows panel, you can now select which one displays here and which doesn't. For example, we spoke about the paragraph tool here. If I select window, I scroll down to type, this type. See, this is my paragraph here. This character. Click on character, set to open. Are you seeing? So is that clear? So your screen can be customized as you see fit. So we're going to practice the pen tool by by redrawing this icon here using the pen tool. So how do we do that? I created a new layer here. I created a new layer. Let me put this other layers off. Let's focus on this. I created a new layer and added this image, this icon to this new layer. This is my icon here. This is a new layer. So now I am going to lock this icon here so I cannot displace it. See, I've locked it. I'm clicking on this empty box here. See, when I click here, it locks the layer. So I've not locked the entire layer. I've only locked this image within the layer. As we said, one layer can contain many sub layers. So now this layer has been locked. It can't move. So now I want to trace it. So how do I trace it? Trace it using the pen tool. Select my pen tool by clicking here. One, my pen tool has been selected. My pen tool has been selected. So when I come now on my screen here, and my goal is to withdraw this. So I can come here at the edge. I'll click once. I click once. My first anchor point has been created. Let me zoom in. Zooming is the exact same way zooming on Photoshop. So I've created my first anchor point here. As you can see, everywhere I go, the line follows me to create another anchor point. So if I want my line right to be straight, to be exactly straight, I can maintain my finger on the shift key. So now you see my lines form perfect angles, right? 45-degree angles. So now my line here, so that's how I make sure that my line here is straight. And I will come to the edge here and click once. So I've created my second anchor point and a straight line. So here it is a curve, right? I want to reproduce this curve. So how do I do that? I come with my anchor point this way and I click, but this thing, when I click, I will maintain my hand on my left click button and drag until the curve matches the curve of the image like this. Then I release my hand from the left click. My curve has been created. So now I want to create another straight line, but now the line doesn't seem to be straight anymore. It kind of bends. So to cancel this bending, I'll simply come back to my anchor point here, the last anchor point I made, and click on anchor point again. So now the line has become straight again. So I can continue. So now I'll maintain my hand on the shift key again for my line to be exactly straight and to reach the next curve point, this image. So once I've reached, I can click once, another anchor point has been created. I'll do the same process. I need to create another curve here again. So this time I'll look for another point where the curve ends. Click once, maintain my hand on the left click and drag like this. The curve has been created. I come and cancel the curve by clicking back on the anchor point. The curve has been cancelled. I continue the same process. Maintain my hand on the shift key for the line to be perfectly straight. When I reach the edge, I click to another anchor point. Come at the edge of the curve. Click once and drag while maintaining my hand on the left click to create a curve. Cancel the curve. Come down. Maintain my hand on shift for the line to be straight. Click once. Come at the edge of the curve. Click now. Maintain my hand on the left click and drag until it matches the curve like this. Click back on the anchor point to cancel it. Maintain my hand on shift. Okay. So now here, straight line like this. Click once, straight line, click once, straight, no, this one is not a straight line. Come at the edge, click once, come at the edge here, click once, come at the edge here, click once, come at the edge, click once, come at the edge, click once, come at the edge of the curve, click once, I come to the edge, the other edge of the curve. This time I click, maintain my hand on the click and drag until it matches the curve like this, and I release it. Gonna cancel it by clicking back on the anchor point. Straight line, click once, straight line, click once, straight line, click once, another straight line, click once, and let's come and journey back to where we started. Straight line and we click once. So now click on the move tool and we'll come and turn off this layer of the image. You see, we have redrawn the icon, the Facebook icon here from scratch. So we can add color here by one, coming to our swatches here and choosing a color, for example, right? Just like in Photoshop, you have the fill color and the outline color here. So if I click on this outline here, I can also change the color maybe to yellow, this pink, black, or nothing. So the second place you can change the color is here on your left side on your tools panel at the bottom here. This is, so if I click on this twice, the color picker appears. I can select the color like this. Press OK. If I want to change the fill color, I can click here on the fill icon here, double click on it, and just like in Photoshop, control the type of color, control it. Okay, let's just use the blue since Photoshop. Since Facebook has a blue color dimension. Okay, so we can also remove the colors by come on my swatches here, swatches. This is the fill color. If I press on this, the color has been removed, right? I can go back here and select that blue color all over again. Same thing with the outline color. I can also remove it as well by clicking on this white white background with a red stroke. So there we have it. We have recreated the Facebook icon using our pen tool and adding some colors on it. So that's how you use your pen tool. So this icon really was gotten on flat was downloaded from flaticon.com. I think I've given you this site already on flaticon.com. If you go on flaticon.com, you can find all these icons. Yes, flaticon.com. You can simply search the icon which you want, for example, Facebook. So you can download some of these icons and practice using the pen tool, just like we did, because these icons are mostly simple and it will help you get used to the pen tool very fast. So next we're going to look at is working with shapes. And shapes are created in Illustrator the exact same way they're created in Photoshop. Use a shape tool, there are different types of shapes, rectangle, ellipse, polygon. But one key difference here is you can combine, subtract, intersect shapes in Illustrator. We don't know how to add color, we just saw add color, the fill or the stroke color. But so now we're going to look how to intersect, combine, intersect, combine, subtract, intersect, how to combine, subtract, and intersect shapes. Okay, let's head back to Illustrator for a minute. And let's create some two shapes. So if you go on your left tool panel here, you will see this icon here, the rectangle here. And just like in Photoshop, you can right click and you see other options. Let's select the circle for example. If you click on the circle and the ellipse tool, you can zoom in on our screen. And just like in Photoshop, you click and you drag. Maintain your hand on shift for the circle to maintain a perfectly circular shape, right, like this. Um, let's see. Let's see what we can create. Okay. So we have two shapes, for example. Two shapes here. And we start with Illustrator, can do what combine, subtract, intersect shapes. So how do we do that? Let me just change the color for clarity. So let's have these two colors like this. So you can these two colors are placed like this. So let's wanted to intersect them and keep only this part in the middle here, the intersection part, these two circles, right? So what we can do is we can click on our screen and drag to select both of them. Click on your screen and drag, so both of them are selected like this. And once that happens, this panel here, this alignment panel is going to appear. This panel here is called the alignment panel. You can also find it here, and if it's not here, you can simply go to your window and search for the alignment. Attribute color. Okay, it's up. It's align. This is it. Align. So this can enable you to align two items either together or on your canvas. So for example, once select these two items together like this, you can align them. For example, once you align them at the top, because this one is down, this one is up. When align them at the top here, you can simply come and click on this icon here, basically align top and align them at the top. The other alignments is align them to the left, to the right, in the center, C center for example. Just align them in the center. Let's press Control Z to undo. So we were selecting both of the circles, and what we want to do is we want to keep this part in the middle like this. Is the part we want to keep. We want to remove this part and this part. So the first thing we'll go to the Objects panel here. Click on Objects and select Expand. Click on Expand. After clicking on Expand, the next thing you do is you come to this option here called the Pathfinder and click on it. If you don't have the Pathfinder here, simply go on your window here, scroll down until you find Pathfinder, this Pathfinder here. So this will appear with the Pathfinder. and you put this option here, divide. You click on divide. You see, it seems as if nothing changed, right? But see what happens now. We're going to come and click on this second tool here called the direct selection tool. Click on it. And once we come back to our design now, we see that each of these parts has become a part on its own. So I can click just on this section here and separate it. Or click just on this section here and we'll separate it like this.
Wow.
So now it looks like something entirely different. Now you can
Exactly.
also delete this section, for example, by clicking on it and backspace to delete it. So clicking on this one, backspace to delete it, and this is our custom shape which has been created. And remember that when you want to delete this part, you're using but this one here, the direct selection tool, not the selection tool. See, so Illustrator will have the selection tool and the direct selection tool. Direct selection tool is usually made for this kind of situations, right? When you've divided a shape and you want to edit custom parts of the shape. You can also come here and round the borders by clicking here in this circle, for example, and rounding it. It forms this shape. Also unround it like this. So now it looks like an egg, like an egg. It now looks like an egg. You can also edit the color by coming to your swatches here and choosing a particular color, or coming here, clicking on it twice. The color panel appears. You can look for the color which looks more like an egg to you. Click on it. So there you have it. So you're not limited to this, a wide array of things you can create using this simple method I just showed you. You can create almost anything by combining shapes together. Almost anything can be created. So most logos are created like this. For example, let's look at an example. Which logo? Let's see. What could be a good example? Let's see. Okay. Do, for example, the YouTube logo, for example. We're going to right click here, select the rectangle tool, and draw a small rectangle here. Small rectangle here. Once you draw the rectangle, you can click on any of these round circles here to round it, the edges a little bit like this. Let's round the edges a little bit like this. And we can change the color to red color. So now, what else do we need? The play button. We can use our pen tool here. Come in and creating, click once, come on now. Click here once, another point here once, and the anchor point has been created. You can use the shift key for it to have a perfect angle in the center here once and once. For it to have a perfect angle is we maintain our hand on the shift key. Remember, with the shift key you can move your anchor point at perfect angles of 45 degrees. So now, what's the color of the play button on the YouTube logo? It is white, right? So I do this and put it right here in the center. You can align it by highlighting both of them like this. Coming here and clicking on this one here. This is the center align. It's going to align both of them in the middle of each other like this. You see, and also the horizontal center align like this. So now this icon here in the middle is now perfectly at the center of this rectangle here. Also adjust the shape of this by maybe reducing it a little bit like this and reducing this circles at the corner or even reducing this height like this. You can highlight it again, click this one, the vertical center align and the horizontal center align. So and there you have it, you have your custom YouTube icon created. So now sometimes you notice that this icon here, this white button here is a little transparent, so you can see behind the white button. So what another circle is on the background. So you cannot see this circle, right? So this white is not transparent. So what are we going to do? We're going to subtract this rectangle here from this. We're going to subtract this triangle from this rectangle. How do you do that? You highlight both of them, go to objects, highlight both of them, go to objects here, expand, then come back here on our Pathfinder, and click on this one, divide. So if you click on, if you use the selection tool, the selection tool here, it still looks like the same thing, right? The selection tool. But however, when you come and click on the quick selection tool and come here, see that now they are different. If you zoom in and click just on this triangle here and press backspace, click on the triangle and press backspace. Now the triangle has been deleted, has been subtracted from the rectangle. So how can we prove that? Let's take this circle here and bring it at the back. So are you seeing now? We have subtracted the triangle from the rectangle. So by doing this, you can create any shape, any logo, any custom shape if you want. So in the ways you can use it are a lot in your design. Ways you can use it are a lot. So for example, let's just do something very simple now. Right. So I'm going to create a an ellipse shape here, right here, like this. I am going to remove the fill color and I'm going to put an outline color rather like this, and I'm going to increase the stroke by coming here. I can increase the stroke. I'm going to increase it to 20. Okay, I'm going to increase it to 30 or even 40. I can maintain my hand on shift key and click on the anchor point and resize it like this. Now one thing here is that's important to note is unlike Photoshop where okay, so let's resume where we ended. So let's use like an application. Let's just use this what of learned and just doing something, right? Just do something. I won't really call it a logo, but it's something. So creating this shape using this ellipse tool here, you removed the fill by coming here on the swatches, selecting the fill icon, moving the color, and selecting the stroke icon and putting the blue color. You increase the stroke size by coming here on the stroke section here. and setting it to 40, right? So we said when you want to resize an object here in Illustrator, the key difference between Illustrator and Photoshop in resizing is when you are resizing, in order to resize to scale, maintain your hand on the shift key when you're resizing. Because if you don't maintain your hand on the shift key, this is what happens. Without the shift key, your image will be distorted without the shift key. Control Z to undo. But with the shift key, when I maintain my hand on the shift key and I resize, see what happens. It resizes to scale, right? I don't lose the shape. So now, how is it? So I'm going to duplicate it. We duplicate in the exact same way we duplicate in Photoshop. I'll click, maintain my hand on the Alt key. Sorry, I'll maintain my hand on the Alt key, then I'll click and drag. Remove my hand from the mouse, remove my hand from Alt. I've duplicated it. So I can put my new layer here like this, for example. No, here like this. Okay, I want this to be bigger. So let's do something like this and like this. So I'm going to increase the stroke of this bigger one to 60, right, like this. I like this. And also where I'm going to put this one, let me change the color for it to be a little bit more visible. Let me change it to deep blue. And how I want to make this layer here with a deep blue to come in front. How do I do that? I can either come to my layers panel here, click on it, and this is the layer here. So when I click on this dark blue icon here, see this small box here appears to show me that this is the layer of it. You can simply click on this layer here and drag it upwards like this. Now it's up. Another way I can do it is I can click on it, then I will right click on it, come down here to arrange, and this is bring to front, bring forward, bring backward, send to back. If I click on send to back, see what happens. This layer has been sent to the last part of this layer 2. So whatever I do there happens only on layer 2 because these are sub layers of layer 2. When I send this layer to the back, it's sent to the back of layer 2 because this circle was found what in layer 2. So if I click again on it, then I right click, go to arrange, and bring to front, see what happens. It's being carried to the top of layer 2. So let me shift this like this so just so that it crosses this bigger circles part like this. Now the effect I want to create is I want to create a circle which comes like this and then like this. See, so let's get into it. So it's going to come. Let me use the brush to illustrate what I want to show you. Like this, it's going to come like this and then like this. That's what we want to create. So meaning that what this part down here is going to disappear, and all this part here will disappear. So now I also want this part above here and this part to disappear. So just the part which is in this canvas to appear. So how I can do that is I'm going to create another shape up here. Click here, select the rectangle tool, and I'm going to create a small rectangle here. Okay, let me change this. Remove the outline of the rectangle and change the fill color. Let's say black color like this. So I'm going to put it just at the edge of this my canvas, right? Just at the edge here, because and drag it again like this because I want it to cut out this part, the upper part of this shape. When you create another rectangle again like this by clicking here and drag and making sure the edge is just at the edge of my canvas like this. So now, so this is what our product looks like, right? So let's look at how it's going to be like in the final design. So first thing first, I am going to duplicate all of this just for security sake in case I mess up, right? You always want to do this in case you mess up. Because if you mess up, you have to redo it all over again. So if you want to avoid that, you can duplicate it. So highlight all of this at once, maintain my hand on Alt key, click and drop it elsewhere it's been duplicated. So now let's come back here to our design. So I'll highlight everything here. I'll go to my objects, I'll expand it and press on OK. And I'll go now to my Pathfinder and select divide. Now see everything still looks the same. But if you notice when I click now, see, so they're now divided. They're together but they are divided, hence the name divide. Are you seeing? These lines were not there. Look at the original one. See, everything existed on its own, right? As its own part. Everything has had its own part. But now they are together, but however, these segments, that's what the effect of divide does. So when I now click my direct selection tool, I can directly select individual parts of these shapes. So if I click on this one, I can move it like this. I can move this one as well, or I can delete it. I can also delete many at once by highlighting all the undesirable parts and deleting them. So just a desirable part remains. I'll highlight the undesirable parts and delete it. Highlight it and delete. Let me zoom in. Right. These are now undesirable parts. This part here. Delete it. Here again. Delete it. Here. Delete. Okay. This is it didn't come out quite as we expected. It was supposed to come here and then branch out of this one and come out. So you see, this is what I was talking about while the embarrass was duplicated. This doesn't come out as we expected. Let's go back a little bit. Control Z and go back. Let's go back before we expanded this layer. Let's see. Okay, this is before we expanded. We're going to change the order and put this circle here in front. Let's go this circle here, arrange part, bring to front. We're going to highlight everything again. Objects, expand, okay, then divide, and you're going to see the difference. Click here. Okay, no, this is not exactly what we're expecting to create. Okay, let me check. Okay, I see the mistake. I see the mistake. Okay, let's bring this one back to the front. Arrange, bring to front. Now, we're going to adjust this a little bit by moving it to the right again. A little bit to the right like this. like this. So we're going to highlight everything again. Objects, expand. Okay, then we're going to divide. So now let's see if it's going as expected this time. Yes, this is what we're trying to do. You can also delete this part like this and delete this part like this. So we created this custom shape. Let's delete the undesirable parts. You can highlight here to check whether any undesirable parts here. So this is our custom shape we have been trying to produce like this. So now if you notice that this shape here, this custom shape now is still divided, right? When they divide with it, is still a small part of individual components, right? What if we wanted to unite them? Because now if you come here and change the color here, what if we wanted to unite them back into one shape, one singular shape, which not be divided again? You can highlight it like this, right? And go back to the object and expand it again. Now this time we'll come and choose this option here. Is it? It should be this one, the merge. I don't know why the name is not appearing. And click on the merge. This one here is called the merge. When you click on the merge, it has merged all the individual sheets which were here. So now this now forms one single sheet as though it were created like this. Or they unite, merge or unite. So I've created this custom sheet like this.
So when you merge the two of the both parts, it merge plus their colors. Hmm?
No, no, I've already changed the color before. See,
Okay.
this is how it was before, right? I click on it
Yeah.
again and see. I can also control, since this one is divided, right? I can control the individual colors by using the direct selection tool. I can click on this one here and change its coloring to this. Click on this one and change its color to maybe red to see. I can change all the color at once by using the selection tool, clicking on it and change all the color at once like this. And if I want to unite them, I'll simply highlight everything and click on merge. It's been united in this manner. I can also decide to add a gradient on it by clicking on it, coming here to gradients, clicking on this white black gradient, and here you have it. My gradient has been added in this manner. So how you can, as I was saying, how you can use your pen tool and your shape tool in combination with your Pathfinder tool to create custom shapes is infinite. You can create literally anything can be created using this. All you just have to do is use your creativity. Use your creativity. You can outline everything. You can reproduce anything, any shape, any logo, any icon. For okay, all of us use computers, for example. You have seen the Chrome logo, right? What if we try to do the Chrome logo by ourselves, right? So you have one circle, you have another circle, this other circle, let's change this color to maybe orange, and this one, let's leave it as blue. We're going to reduce the size here, like this. I'm putting the center to make sure it is really in the center. I will highlight both of them align them vertically and horizontally like this. And now, if you've seen the Chrome logo before then, there is some sort of line that comes out like this, another one that comes out like that on the Chrome logo. So let's try doing that. We're going to click on the shape tool and select the line segment tool. Can zoom in here, come and click on our path here once. So come and click at the edge of the circle, right? You can zoom in, click on the path. My mouse is disturbing. Click on the path. See the anchor point has been created. This mouse is disturbing. Click on the path. So you come and click on the path like this. You can come on the edge here. So you click on the path and drag. So that's how you use your line to you click and you drag immediately. So let's just create this line that looks like this. We're going to increase the stroke size. Let's just say to 2 pixels to let's just say one, right? And we're going to set the color to white. So I've added one line. You can add another line by selecting the line tool here. You can click on the path and drag like this. Another line has been created. Come again here. Oh, instead of using the line tool, let's use the pen tool rather. Let's start back and use the pen tool. So we're practicing the pen tool. So click on the pen tool here, right? We come on our path. We click once, then click on the other anchor point here, and the other circle. And zoom in. So that is it. Click on your selection tool to remove it. So this is your line here. You can click on my line, increase the stroke to 1 pixel in that manner. I can also increase my line, right? Increase the size for it to be a little bit above this circle. I'll come this other way and repeat the same thing. Select my pen tool, come here, click once, come on the other point and click on the selection tool, repeat it again, come here, click on the anchor point and like this. So this line, this circle here should have an outline, right? A white outline like this. You can set it to even 2 pixels, right? So we're almost there. We've almost created the Chrome logo, but the colors are not yet right. So, but if you change the color of this circle, for example, you need to change everywhere. Sorry, I have to change for the fill color. For example, it changes everywhere, which is not what we want. We want it to change only one particular part of this. So we need to highlight everything here, go on the objects and expand it. Okay, of expanding. However, this is not what we want. We still can't color individual parts of it. Individual parts of it. So we're going to highlight it again and go and divide it. So now what happens? You click on this direct selection tool, I'm gonna click here, We can change the color to red. Click here. We can change it to orange. And if you click here, you can change it to green in that manner. Click here, here. So suddenly now we have the Chrome logo. So you can also, so if you click here, I drag this. These lines still extend. Those white lines, right, still extend. So you can come here, zoom in, click on the white line here, and delete it like this. Come here, click on the white line here, and delete it. Come here, click on the white line here, and delete it. So there you have it, the Chrome logo. Just recreated the Chrome logo using our pen tool, our shape tool, our Pathfinder tool, and adding some colors. Okay, well, for this in the Pathfinder tool, found other Windows Pathfinder key functions, unite, combine shapes, minus. So I want you to experiment, right, as your assignment. So we saw this and this. So experiment all these other features and see what happens. That is your assignment. Experiment all of these other features and see what happens. That's part of your assignment. Unite, combine shapes, minus. Minus front, subtract the top from the bottom, intersect to keep overlapping parts, exclude to remove overlaps. Combine simple shapes into complex design. So you saw how to combine simple shapes into complex design. Combine circles and lines and you have a logo. Combine some circles and you have a custom shape which you're adding to your design out of nowhere, like this shape here. So sketching a logo digitally. When you're sketching a logo, you're sketching a logo from scratch, right? From scratch. You have to research the brand concept, like what the brand represents. Is it, for example, is it a tech company? Is it a logistic company? Is it a restaurant? You have to understand what this brand represents because the logo should represent what the brand represents. You can sketch on paper or you can directly come to Illustrator and use your pen tool and start sketching on Illustrator directly. Depends on the one which you are more comfortable. Most people are more comfortable sketching in paper first before coming into Illustrator. So that is how I used to do it before. Before I used to sketch on paper first before coming to Illustrator, but now mostly I come straight into Illustrator. But I will recommend trying to sketch on paper first as a beginner. So use shapes for clean structure. Keep it simple and scalable. Avoid small details that won't scale well. These are just some tips. Choose one concept to build and refine next session. So when you choose one concept, on your paper, you sketch a lot of concepts, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you cannot come now on Illustrator, choose one concept and try to reproduce it and see how it comes out. And you can add some, refine it, right? Adding some things, moving some things in the logo and see how it looks like. So let's move into discussion and questions. The first question is, why is vector format better for logo design? You can answer by sending your either with your mic or sending your response in the chat.
For scalability purpose.
Yes, for scalability. Exactly. So vector formats are highly scalable, unlike raster format which are scalable to an extent. What challenges? Okay, I don't think any of you have been using a pen tool as of yet since you don't have Illustrator already installed. But when you use it, you tell me about the challenges you should face using the pen tool. How can shape combinations help simplify your design workflow? How can shape combinations help simplify your design workflow? Nobody has anything to say.
Come again. How can shapes?
How can how can shape combinations help simplify your design workflow?
I
That's
think
there.
you can simplify it by you not creating the shapes from scratch. You not creating the part from scratch. You can easily use a combination of shapes to have a certain part that you want.
Yes. So, for example, if you wanted to draw an apple, right, you could manually draw that apple, but using some shape combinations, you can produce that apple perfectly just by using some shape combinations. And that goes for anything. For example, the egg, the simple egg that we saw, for example. So rather than having to draw the egg, we combine two circles and we have an egg. So you can simplify your workflow by helping you create uh, some complex shapes easier, easily, or with more ease, easier with more ease, or with ease. That's how shape combinations can help you. What makes a logo versatile across platforms? What makes a logo versatile across platforms? Any idea?
Uh, I think I'll still go with scalability.
Yes, scalability. The answer. Scalability. The logo should be able, whether you're printing it on the biggest billboard or you're using it on your social media, it has to maintain the same quality. Scalability. So that was that for the discussion and also for the class. And as the practice activity, we also design a simple logo using shapes and the pen tool, right? So just for a fictional business, you could choose, or it could be a real estate or a tech exhibition, anything, right? Anything. So to design a fictional logo for a fictional business, you can choose the industry of your choice. It can be a restaurant, it can be a clothing shop, it can be a tech brand, performance brand, a graphic design brand. So choose a fictional business, try to come up with an icon, right? An icon. Let's call the icon the logo. Represent that can represent a business. For example, for Facebook, you have this as you saw. For Facebook, for YouTube, you have this. For Facebook, you have this. So you're supposed to come with something. So your icon can be an egg, for example. I don't know. Right? It can be an egg. It can be this. This can be your icon which you come up with. But come with something, right? For the industry. And let's just give it a name. So it makes it original to look for a name. And how can we call this our business? That can be anything. So, yes, we're going to call it Juju. So, our business name is Juju. So, if you're designing, if it's a real estate, it will be Juju Real Estate. If it's a tech company, it will be Juju Tech. If it's a restaurant, Juju Restaurant. But yes, we use Juju there as assignment, right? So, choose whatever industry you want. For example, it's a shop, Juju Shop, right? And come up with an icon which represents the logo. You have no restrictions or limitations as to how you're going to do it, but use Illustrator, use shapes and the pen tool to do it. It can be anything you think would fit whatever logo you're creating. Use a pen tool and shape to create a logo variation. Use a Pathfinder to refine the structure. That is the Pathfinder, the pen tool. And we've not seen saving, right? So how do you save this thing? You're going to save it in two formats. In AI format, use Adobe Illustrator, and in PNG. So how do you actually save files on Illustrator? So to save files, you come to the file, okay? So to yes, when you export it, right? When you want to save it as okay, let's suppose you want to save it as an Illustrator file. So you come here to save in your computer because you don't have a creative cloud subscription. And you put in your name, you select the document you want where you want to save it at, put in your name, make sure here Adobe Illustrator is selected and you press save to save your file. When you save it as a PNG, come to file. There are two ways. You can either press this one, save a copy, save a copy, and now your copy is not here. Sorry, you go to file, you go to export, sorry, go to export, export as. Then you press save. So this one opens with your PNG here. You choose PNG, put your file name, select the folder where you want to save it, and you press export. When you press export, a new option is going to appear. And what did we say before? We said if you're doing something for screens, 72 ppi, if you're doing something for print, 300, right? Let's just use the 300 because this PNG can be used on a printable as well as a non-printable file. We're going to use it at 300 ppi. And you can pronounce it to transparent, of course, and you press OK here, and your file will be saved. So, am I clear? Everything clear?
Why do you have to use the juju stuff?
How is the instruction?
Okay, it's all clear.
Okay, so it's a restaurant, the Chuchu restaurant. To make it easy on you on choosing the name, because choosing the name can become quite troublesome. So let's make it simple. Restaurant, Juju restaurant is business, general business, Juju business, Juju store, Juju tech, Juju graphics, anything which you want, and create something. And I see the steps are simple, right? Start by trying to draw something on a paper. Draw some samples, 5, 6, 10, if you wish, right? Among those different samples, you select 3 which you will try to reproduce. One, two, or three, one, two, or three, depending on the number of samples that you have. You select either one or two or three of them and do it on Illustrator. And from there, you select one as your final pick. No, you just present everything you do. If you did three, present all three. If you did two, Then on to the only one, present only that only one which you did. Present something. Is that clear? Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Faith, are we good? Alright, so we've come at the end of our lesson for today. I hope it was structured for you. Please endeavor to do the assignment. You cannot become good at design if you don't design, and you can also become good if you keep your design for yourself. Alright, thank you all for attending, and see you all on Wednesday, same time. Have a good night.